We now have the state of Samaja. Addressing here will be President of VSNA, Dr. Somashekar Pallegar.
Good morning. Ellarigu Sharanu, Shri Pujya Shri Shivamurthy Shivacharya Swamiji Avare, all the honorable guests on the dais, and my dear fellow Veerashaivas, Ellarigu Mathamme Sharanu. I have been given this immense task of the VSNA, the status of the VSNA at present, which is going to be a combination of Bevu and Bella. There are a lot of bitter ones, there are some sweet ones. So you have to discard the bitter ones and take the sweet ones to your heart. So I'm going to present both the sides of the coin to you. So it is left to you what to make out of that. First of all, I congratulate our New England chapter members, especially the chairperson, Mr. Basuraj Mudenur, and the vice chairperson, Mr. Shivkumar, for making this 34th convention at Boston. And so far, we all agree that we have enjoyed it immensely. Give them a big round of applause. All the chapter presidents, not just the office bearers, have worked very hard, which we witnessed during the last night cultural program. I'm proud to say that I was one of the founder member of VSUK in England and also our Florida chapter. Florida chapter started in 2002 and it is still going strong. We have about 55 families in Florida. We have been saying a slogan which you probably heard for last several years. I am proud of Veerashaiva. This is a very beautiful slogan, but it hasn't carried us anywhere. I applaud the commitment to our association by our members, but for being just proud will not make an association strong and beautiful. I sincerely hope that you are aware of the crisis this VSNA is going through at present time. First and the foremost, which hits me to the heart, is we do not have a center to focus our commitments, like a physical building, I meant. It is also very important to have Basava International Research and Educational Center for our needs. It is mind-boggling to know that an association of the magnitude of our VSNA, having stood for 34 years, still lives on a postal addresses of the president or the secretary. It has been a massive setback on the members who tried so hard to establish a center in the past. We need to ask one question: why? Why, and why? It is my humble opinion there are three important reasons for this, as far as I can guess it out. First of all, it is a lack of appropriate funds. That means dollars. As we all aware that we not build palaces with proudness and promises. This involves sufficient financial resources. The second factor is trying to establish just one center, which has been a thorn in the apple here. Because every time this has been discussed, I've been seeing the VSNA for the last nearly 20 years. We have spent a lot of energy, a lot of hours, a lot of days arguing about where the center should be. So that is a very important issue we have to remember. The third problem is the attrition of the members who are really showing any interest in the association. Everybody is asking why we have to support this VSNA. We go to several meetings, either in the convention time or your local chapter side, and we talk. No actions. So we identify these problems. What is the solution for this? I don't think there is any perfect solution for all these problems. Everybody knows that we have to keep the association, but nobody has the way to keep the association. And we have been discussing it on several occasions, several meetings, teleconferences, and everything. So my goal in the next at least a year or two is to create multiple Basava International Research and Educational Centers in North America. You can call them Anubhava Mantapas or whatever. There will be at least 4 centers of BIREC, I put it in a brief letters. BIREC means Basava International Research and Educational Center. With your generous dasoha, which you have been talking about it for the last at least a day, from all of you, unless we aim at collecting funds to buy or build a center or centers, we have no hope for the next generation. I want all of you to make a pledge, or at least think about it in your mind, that this is a very, very important and serious issue. You need to act now, or else you don't get tomorrow. I propose a monthly contributions to the regional centers from all the families of Veerashaivas in their own regions, so that they will be owning their own center. The BIREC, or the Basava International Research and Educational Center, belongs to them, not to the central VSNA. There will be 3 administering bodies for each center, and one body is the members themselves, the second one will be the executive board, and the third one is the board of trustees. Location of these BIRECs is determined by the members of the region. Central VSNA will coordinate and cooperate in keeping the regional centers alive and well, and also being a larger association, we have a more collective bargaining power. As we collect maybe $10 or a $20 from each family per month from the members of the region, when the funds are sufficient to buy one under the tax umbrella of the central VSNA, they will either buy one or build one. As the monthly contributions keep flowing on a regular basis, that will help our BIREC centers to operate smoothly, and we will coordinate with the centers 1 to 2 sharanas for each center to bring them from India or any other region if they are appropriate to serve in our center. The centers contain a meditation hall, a library facility, which I am believing is getting obsolete with all that e-books and iBooks and everything now, and also a burial ground, which is far needed for us for last several years. And if the finances and if the interest of the members permit, we can also build retirement complexes within the center. So we'll get the Sharanas or the spiritual leaders from India on a two-yearly sponsored basis. And as I said earlier, to start at least 4 centers in the 4 corners of the USA to begin with, and extend them to 8 as we progress. Of course, this will be with the help of your dasoha, of all our members. So I want to declare a new slogan for the VSNA now. I'm a proud contributor of VSNA. So everybody should remember, I'm a proud contributor of VSNA. So the dasoha must begin at home. In relation to that, I want to cite a vachana. Bittanindare bidadimaye, bidadiddare bembattittumaye, yonige yoginiyagittumaye, savanange savaniyayittumaye, yatige yakittumaye, ನಮ್ಮ ವೀರಶೈವ ಅಮೆರಿಕನ್ನರಿಗೆ ಬಸವನ ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಮಾಯೆ. ನಿನ್ನ ಮಾಯೆಯೇ ಅನಂತುಗಳಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಮಲ್ಲಿಕಾರ್ಜುನ ದೇವ ನಿಮ್ಮಾಣೆ. We are all aware that the local chapters over the country have done a charitable work to the societies they live in. We hope and encourage to do more charitable work, not only locally in the chapter basis as well as internationally as well, by establishing these BIREC centers. This will provide them a moral and a spiritual support for all the members, and also it will keep the interest of our younger generation in Veerashaivism. We will be releasing our brand new website in the next few minutes. I must thank all the time and efforts put by our secretary, Mr. Tesh Kartal, as well as Mr. Anand Kumar, the Anand Kumar has become our new webmaster now, and he's not here today, but he is in Michigan with the Tej. He has spent a lot of hours in creating our new website. And you will be witnessing that very shortly. You already witnessed our home talent, Basaraj Devashetty, yesterday with iBasavarna application. And this is creating a lot of interest, not within our community. We have people downloaded from all over the world. And the last count we had were from Middle East, China, Russia, Japan, and Australasia. Give them a big round of applause for him. The another development we are at a turn now is the books. Mr. Dodmani told me that he has thousands of books in his collection as a library. For the last several years, he doesn't know what to do with them. So I said, why don't we convert them into e-books so that we can eliminate the paper books forever. I'm sure some people do like the paper books. We can donate to them if they want it. For this, we need what they call a copyrights. And I was talking to Mr. Arvind Jetti yesterday, and he has kindly agreed to release all the copyrights of all the collections they have in Basava Samiti, Bangalore, to convert them to e-books. Give them a big round of applause, Mr. Arvind Jetti. During my recent visit to India, I came to know that there is a Russian Veerashaiva Association. That surprised me. I tried to get to their website and to get their representative here, but because of the shortage of time, we couldn't do it. Hopefully, we'll bring them to our next convention. I hope you agree that this convention experience will remain in your memories for a long time. We have had intense, enlightening experience of Basava International Conference yesterday, understanding Sharana Dharma, Vachana Dharma, and Basava Dharma. Many thanks to Mr. Vijay Kotrappa, who took the initiation and conducted the first ever IBC so well. Give him a big round of applause, please. I mentioned one new terminology, Basava Dharma. This has raised a lot of eyebrows, even in India and here. And whenever there is a change, the majority will oppose. Only minority will agree. This has been shown historically. Even with Basavarna, Basavarna was opposed by majority, only liked by very few minority. So this will be one of that. The Basava Dharma is the only course to follow for all the Veerashaivas to be recognized as one. I sense that there is some opposition for this concept, certainly in India, especially from Indian Veerashaivas or Veerashaiva religious gurus. I was saddened by the further split and bringing casteism back by a few religious gurus in India. And this was well portrayed by our Mr. Nagendrappa yesterday. I think he hit the nail on the head. I humbly request our community in India not to bring casteism back to existence ever. I certainly hope the division of Veerashaivas will never ever happen again. Please do not bring the division into this country. We do not want a mini India. Please do not forget, USA is a home for second largest Veerashaiva community after India. Basavarna quoted as a Vishwaguru by Mahatma Gandhiji, which he is still now. When he addressed his Belgaum Indian National Congress in 1924, Mahatma Gandhi said about Basavarna, it has not been possible for me to practice all the precepts of Basaveshwara, which he taught and practiced 800 years ago, including the eradication of untouchables and dignity of labor. Had he lived during our times, he would have been a saint, worth worshipping. He is still worth worshipping, whether, looking at Mahatma Gandhi said this speech. I certainly agree and hope you all, hence the inception of Vishwadharma, and follow one and only principle, that of Vachana Dharma. This may help to resolve a lot of our confusion and conflict of interest, understanding ourselves, especially understanding ourselves with our next generation. We have too many things going at the same time. You are spreading your arms all around you, you don't know which one to reach. And I certainly promote this Vachana Dharma being our main book of, like a Bible or a Bhagavad Gita or anything, so that all of us will follow that. Yesterday we heard from youth speakers that there is a gap and a gap exists starting to breach the family unity and also between the parents and the children. You can understand the importance what they are showing. They are showing the same confusion like we are doing still now. Even though we have come from India here and we still want to practice our Veerashaivism, and we are still total in confusion, so are our children. So this has to be stopped. The only way is to keep just one principle and one principle only, that is Vachana Dharma. Now I will change the topic to next convention. I did ask around several of our local chapters whether they would be interested. The main drawback is they are scared to do the conventions now. I don't know why. Maybe the finances. That is the bottom line here. Rather, if you give them $100,000, probably everybody will do it tomorrow, right? So we are going to announce, we had that collection for convention committee, for the convention funds in 1998 in Detroit. I still remember that. And a lot of people promised some donations, and eventually we managed to collect around $250,000 or $300,000, which has grown to around $340,000 now. And our aim is to get to $1 million for the convention fund. With an average revenue of about 8%, we get about $80,000, which is close to $100,000 for any chapter to do the convention in the future. So I strongly recommend you to make a little contribution, like $100, $200, $500, even $1,000. That's all I'm asking. And we will pass those little slips in the evening during our cultural program. Please cooperate on that. So this brought me back to home, where the convention will be next year. And a lot of people said, why don't we do it every 2 years? And this has been a challenging question for several years for that. So I decided, let me take the responsibility myself. So I'm going to show you an excitement development for the next 35th VSNA convention. It will be held in Kudala Sangama, India. And during my socializing with you, I was just asking what do you think, and I got almost 90%, oh, we love to come. So that is a very encouraging idea. But I'm going to get an vote in a minute. So this will be a 4-day convention, July 5, 6, 7, 8. Please make a note in your diary. July 5, 6, 7, 8, 2012. 3 days, 2 to 3 days we'll spend in Kudala Sangama, and 1-day trip to Badami, Basavan Bhagyavadi, Basava Kalyana. I think these are the very important issues for Veerashaivas to visit this place, because I know some of you have been already there, and there's a lot of developments going on in all these sites, and I'm hoping they will be 80% complete. Kudala Sangama is almost 90% complete. Other two places probably will be around 50 to 60% completed when I visited in April of this year. The challenging problem there is the accommodation. The accommodation, I just talked to the chief engineer there yesterday, and he promised about 300 people he can accommodate in Kudala Sangama proper. So if you are really interested to come for next year, we will advertise on the internet on our VSNA.org website. The first 300 will get the accommodation in Kudala Sangama. And if you become a middle bird rather than a late bird, you'll be moved to the next one will be the Pattadakal. They have another 100 to 150 accommodation. And next, if you exceed the 300-400 number, we have to move to Bagalkot. They're about 1 hour driving distance from Kudala Sangama. So the convention committee for this historic 35th convention is from all the chapters. So I'm going to pick the most efficient and most reliable 2 or 3 people from every chapter. So we have about 19 chapters? 19 chapters now. So we get 38 people to work for. So, we will coordinate everybody. So we will make different committees and work with them. We have a very honored guest today, Mr. Mallikarjun. He's sitting there. He's a retired forest officer, and he will going to talk a few minutes after my presentation. Please remember what Basaveshwara said. Power of knowledge destroys ignorance. Power of light dissipates darkness. Power of truth is foe for all untruth. The Sharana's experience of God is sole cure of worldliness. I also thank the event sponsor, Mr. Pradeep Kumar. Is he here? Of the ULB Bank from Bangalore. He was very generous in sponsoring the event. And also we have a lot of other sponsors, hard to find the names to say here, who are generous contributions made this event happen. Hope to see you at Kudala Sangama in 2012. I have about 8 minutes video presentation for you to get a glimpse of what you will see next year. Before I finish, I will say another vachana. Brahma padaviyonalle, Vishnu padaviyonalle, Rudra padaviyonalle, Nanu mattava padaviyonalanayya, Kudala Sangama Deva. Nima Sadbhaktara, Savada Nariyappa, Maha padaviya Karnisaya, Nama Kudala Sangama Deva. Thank you very much. And I'm going to make the video presentation now. Please, we need to turn off these floodlights here so that they can see the screen. Okay, thank you. I just want to know, this is not a proper survey. How many would like to come for next year convention? Please raise your hands. Kudala Sangama. Yeah, about 50%. That's good. Thank you.